All right, welcome in everybody. We are through with week one of the NFL season.
Yep.
Austin, how did your fantasy teams do
So let's see. I won 3 out of 5.
head to head?
Two, yep. And then 2 out of those went across the median. You got to play with median. So overall, feeling good about the week ish because it was a very weird week overall, right? We'll talk about that. Some things a little hurt about, a little upset about, but otherwise, I pulled off 3 wins. So overall, not too bad. How about yours?
Uh, it was rough. Um,
Yeah.
for people that know, some of my dynasty leagues, I got some receivers down the line I believe in. Um, and yeah, they didn't have their best weekend or their best Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, And then there was a league I scored 199.6, way higher than everyone else, or than one other guy that beat me by like 4 points.
Yep.
Um, so that was a rough one, but only week one. Let's not
Right.
overreact. That
That's
being
the best thing
said,
about week one.
right. But yeah, that being said, if you got league mates that are freaking out, now's the time to buy. I'm looking
Yep.
at like the players for the Bengals, T. Higgins. I've been trying to buy Jamar, Joe Burrow, because they'll get it figured out. They always start off slow.
Yep. You
Um,
missed training camp. I mean, that's what you have
yeah,
to kind of expect. So.
yeah. And then while we're talking about buying, some people to sell. If you are in a redraft league, I am selling anything Jets. Lazard, Garrett Wilson. Well, Brees Hall. Okay, you can live with that at running back still. He'll still get touches.
Right.
Um, but
Um.
anything
I think.
receivers there, I'm done with.
Yeah, you could probably get a decent amount for Garrett Wilson still. If you're
Yeah,
hurting in the wide receiver spot, I wouldn't necessarily get rid of him in a hurry because he's still what second rounder. Was Zach Wilson probably what drops to fourth roundish
yeah,
territory. So still a good option for sure, especially if you're hurting in that territory. You shouldn't be hurting in that territory this year by far. Don't overreact, like we said. But yeah, no, but I agree. This might be a hot take, but if I was people and I was trying to sell somebody, if you have Josh Allen, I'm selling. 100% selling. Everybody's gonna think he's gonna get it figured out. I don't think so. You have the Leslie Frazier. He took the year off, so obviously this is a redraft, right?
yeah.
Redraft issue. Dynasty, that's a little different story. But Leslie Frazier took the year off. You have the head coach on the sideline, like going like this, and then fucking Diggs is in the end zone going like this, and Diggs isn't making the play because he's getting triple covered. Diggs is
Yeah,
causing more issues. I feel like on this team than anything else, and I think from the way Allen was playing, he is way too far in his head. There's plenty of times when he was wide open to run, and he was starting to run, but he said "fuck it" and he chucked it downfield. There was times when he shouldn't have ran because there's 5 guys right in front of him, and he still has another 15 yards before first down, and he still ran anyway. I don't know. Last night scared me a lot. So for me, I'm selling Josh Allen.
yeah. I mean,
Anything.
yeah. Three picks is never pretty.
Yeah.
Especially when last year he had a lot of interceptions. People are talking about or turnovers in general, and it's
Most
like here we
turnovers
go
in the
again.
NFL. Uh,
Yeah. Um, so what did you think when you heard about Rogers' Achilles?
Initially, I thought he was being a bitch about it. I was watching it and I was like, "There's no way he got hurt right away." Um, it just didn't look that bad. And then you got the close up, and after a couple times, you kind of see what his leg does. And you're like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah. So
uh,
all right. So yeah, when I when you see the close-ups, it reminds me so much. A few years ago, Kevin Durant
Yeah.
got hurt, tore his Achilles. It was in the playoffs one year, so it was towards the end of a season, and it just reminded me like the way the position his leg was and his body and
Yep.
everything. And then like Kevin Durant, like he even like stood up too. You know, you thought he was fine, and then all of a sudden, yeah,
Right.
his Achilles was tore.
Oh, and that was the big thing to me too, because it's like, all right, from the angle that we got initially on the play, it was all right. Tackle didn't seem that bad. He
It
got up,
wasn't.
and then all of a sudden he just like went down, and it was like the most like kind of laziest sit down possible too. So I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
And yeah, it was just over at that
yeah,
point as soon as the cart came out. So
yeah.
uh,
Not very fantasy football related, but it already
yeah.
bugs me today. People are blaming the field and then the O line,
Oh,
and the O line. No, no, like they
oh
get called
no.
out in training camp, but in training camp, you don't hit quarterbacks, so he wasn't taking hits then, and I mean that was literally his first contact of the season. And the turf, I don't like that either because again, I just brought up the whole Kevin Durant thing. Is that same position? These are guys in their 30s, a lot of miles on the legs. I think it was that. The idea that, yeah, it was because of
Right.
turf.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Everybody blames the turf when it comes to players getting injured versus, hey, this is a physical contact sport. And
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is old. At the end of the day, as much as nobody wants to face the music, he's getting old. He's got another maybe year left if he doesn't say fuck it.
yeah,
You know, it is what it is. Now, if you're like me, more fantasy related, and you kind of waited towards the end to pick up some quarterbacks, because Aaron Rodgers is like, hey, he's got Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Brees Hall,
yeah,
Dalvin Cook. He's gonna make some crazy run. I didn't think he was Super Bowl potential like you did, but I thought it was gonna be a really good year. We are screwed. Especially for those
yeah,
of us that play the super flex leagues, which are awesome.
yeah,
So that's where things get a little hard. Luckily, I was smart enough to think ahead, and I did pick up Zach Wilson. So not that he's a great secondary option, I have
hmm
him.
yeah. I
You have him in
remember.
that league, right?
No, I got Jordan Love. I think that's what you're
Oh,
thinking of. There's one startup draft where I remember you were just on someone because they took Love over Rodgers, and then I was like, oh,
yep.
I did the same thing, and I was waiting for you to say something, but no,
Yeah.
we look real smart now because Jordan Love, he had 20 some points in fantasy.
He had one good game. One good game against the
Yeah,
horrible Bears.
yeah,
Horrible Bears. The Bears' defense looked awful as it was. Uh, and I don't know. I'm not too high on the Bears, period. I think Justin Fields is going to be wasted there. I think
yeah,
he's a good, decent fantasy option because he's going to run a lot because they don't have any weapons, so to speak. So, uh, but eventually he's going to get hurt because that O line kind of sucks too.
yeah. I'm a little worried about the Bears. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm at the point where I'm going to sit here and say I'm selling Justin Fields, but definitely
I
worried.
would. I
Um,
would.
like any kind of trade in mind you have that you would
Uh,
do that's maybe a little bit of a hot take or
I would go for somebody like a Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford. Like you
plus.
sacrifice a little bit for the quarterback, and then you get an extra, like maybe a wide receiver, running back would be ideal because I know running backs are kind of a super hot commodity this year. You
Yeah,
have to get the right one, or otherwise you're kind of missing out. Um, and with Justin Fields, you kind of get the best of both worlds, right? You get the running back quarterback combo, so maybe you could get a really good deal on maybe a lesser value quarterback, but you get a really good running back in return too,
yeah,
ish, or maybe
yeah,
even a
something
pick or
like that.
two in the future.
Yeah, right, that's what I would like. Yeah, pick. But otherwise, yeah, just kind of talking about the rookies. I during lunch the last couple of days, I really watched just on YouTube. NFL literally did every snap and rush by all three, so I watched that.
Yep.
Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, when it came to completing passes like deeper than 10 yards, was not pretty. Like Young had two
Oh,
picks, and then the end of the game when the Colts were trailing, Richardson was missing people by a lot. So the accuracy wasn't pretty.
yeah.
Where Shroud, I was more impressed with him when it came to deeper than 10 yards.
Okay.
So I thought he had the best week one. You know, he also was on the road against Baltimore. I don't think the other opponents were um, as legitimate. You know, the Falcons defense and then Jaguars defense, but we'll see. You know, only week one. Um, and then the Falcons is another team we can talk about. So
Yeah.
Drake London only targeted once, and I think he
Yep.
dropped it too. Wasn't pretty.
I think
Bijan
it was bad
Robinson,
at too.
yeah, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Agier, the running backs, like 15, 20 points, look great.
Yep.
Um, so I'm still buying Atlanta because I felt like the whole game plan was, you know, we're not going to go crazy. We're going to play it, you know, real conservatively. You know, throw it behind the line of scrimmage a lot for whatever reason. That was just their
Yep.
plan. Um, and then like the whole second half they had a lead, so just another reason to be like conservative. Um,
Right.
now, now, yeah. So I should be clear. In dynasty leagues, I am buying Pitts and Drake London. In redraft, I don't know. How cheap can
Right.
you get them is really the question there. Like
Well,
I
right
still like
now,
their futures for dynasty. That's why I
yeah,
say that for sure.
for sure. I mean, I think right now, especially Drake London's going to be as cheap as possible. Even Pitts too.
Yeah.
Because what Pitts had two catches, and I mean some decent yardage ish. But I mean Drake London is this would be the cheapest you'll ever get him for sure. Because Desmond Ritter looked awful. He looked overwhelmed. I don't think they trust him. That's why they were throwing behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Uh,
And and like when Zach Wilson got in the game, it was like that same
uh,
thing. It was like we're gonna play super freaking safe.
yep,
Um,
exactly.
and
Which
yeah, hopefully down the line they make him throw a little bit deeper, challenge him, but we'll see.
right. That was kind of the weird thing too, because the first two plays that Zach Wilson was in, it was still like the Aaron Rodgers game plan, right? So it was still, 10-ish plus yards down the field, and they were good passes. And then right away in next series, because they weren't going to make up those 22 yards or whatever it was. Next series, they went ultra conservative. They should have just kind of stuck with that Aaron Rodgers ish game plan because it was working, right? He was two
Yeah.
for two for like almost 20 yards, so yeah, they should have kind of stuck with that, but for whatever reason they didn't. I get it after last year. Last year was awful. I can't fully trust Zach Wilson, but hey, if he had the confidence going in there, already got you almost a first down after the Aaron Rodgers situation. They should have kind of kept putting the foot down. What did you think as far as Tyler Algier? Because he kind of surprised me a little bit. He had a good amount of fantasy points wise. Looks like he's the main goal scorer.
Yeah, he was getting the red
Getting
zone
you the red
touches.
zone. Yep.
But he's if you're asking me like buy or sell, he's someone I'm selling. Because I still like I still think there'll be games where as the series goes on, Bijan I think will play more and get more touches
Mhm.
and all that. And you know I your man Gibbs, it'll be the same thing. He'll get more touches as the year goes on. For the
Yeah.
people watching, I don't really like saying this because I've been trying to get Gibbs all week. You got him
Yeah.
in like two or three leagues.
You're
Yeah,
not getting
but
it.
but yeah, he'll definitely have. It's just a matter of they got to be behind, or it's got to be a close game, or some like the Kansas City game. I don't know. They were doing fine with Montgomery, but
Yeah.
right, Gibbs when he got in, it was just like Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook last night. Like just night and day, much
Yep.
faster through the holes. Just once they got the ball.
Yep.
So
Now, I will say I will give this for Gibbs. He did have a couple of pretty bad mistakes as far as like slips and not being in the right position here and there, which I think kind of hurt him a little bit in the Chiefs game that I kind of noticed. So, which I think kind of attributes to why he only got like 8 points overall. Now, the rookie that'll get fixed. So it's not something to worry about or anything like that. And I mean, I'm not selling
yeah,
them for anything, for sure. Bijan looked really good,
yeah,
obviously. Now with Tyler Algier, for me, while I'm not gonna seek him out to buy him, if I have him on my roster, I'm holding on to him, right? Because right now, sure, you could sell him and you could probably get a decent amount. But what if all they do is run because they don't trust Desmond Ritter? They get to the red zone and you're just picking up all the touchdowns with Algier, you know. So
maybe.
that's somebody that I would kind of hold on to just to at least see what happens week 2, week 3, and from there then you can sell if you want to, especially if he's still definitely getting all those touchdowns and so on. But I don't know, he looked really good. He kind of surprised me. I kind of wrote him off right away. So
Yeah, yeah, he looked better than I thought. And
yeah,
obviously he had like 15 carries or something. He got more touches than I thought he would.
yep,
Um, otherwise, right, that's kind of running backs. So Tyler Algier, you're a hold, and buy
yeah,
sell hold. You're a hold. I'm selling.
yeah.
Um,
How about kind of switching gears to like the wide receivers now?
yeah,
Edison, he looked good, right?
yep,
Vikings have some stuff to kind of figure out there, but he looked really good. Quinn Johnson, somebody you and I were really high on
yeah.
going into the year, uh, significantly less snaps than we thought he would. What's your thoughts on that? I know you were trying to get him from me, but
Yeah,
it's not happening.
and right, he's another guy. If you're playing in dynasty leagues, just buy him. If the person holding him is stupid.
Yeah,
So Big Mike, I saw he had some kind of injury. I think
right.
had maybe concussion or something. Um, so between Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, if one of them is out for an extended period of time, I think you'll see Quinn Johnson come out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
Um, next offseason, one of them's definitely going, if not traded sooner. So I'm still excited for him to get some more play time. I'm not. There's been some articles that have came out and said like he's dropping the ball a lot. I don't know. I don't really buy that. If you remember 2 or 3 years ago with Jamar Chase, like people were
yeah,
saying that in August, and look at where he is now. I'm not saying he'll be that. Um,
right.
but yeah, I just he's too athletic. And he's got Herbert for quarterback, so he's a
Yeah,
buy right now for sure.
yeah, no,
In dynasty, in redraft, don't worry about him because right, he just might not ever break out this year, and that's fine. So
right. Yeah, no, for sure. I was happy to see Jordan Addison kind of already made a splash. I thought it would take a week or two.
yeah,
Um, I didn't think we'd really even see too much of him till after the Eagles game.
yeah,
Um, but no, I mean, he already kind of made a splash, which is nice. Zay Flowers, somebody who I was really high on, and I stupidly benched. I was looking at him, I was debating it for an hour. I'm like, who do I? It was between him and fucking Tyler Boyd, and I was like, I gotta go with my boy Tyler Boyd. That worked out great. Uh, uh, but he splashed. He looked really good, actually.
Yeah.
I watched a decent amount of that game. He was always open. It looked like he was running the correct routes at all times. He wasn't slipping up. He wasn't kind of confused like you sometimes see with rookie wide receivers. He looked really good, which is nice. And all the attention I feel like went to OBJ, and nobody was really watching Flowers. So will that happen going forward? Probably not. They're going to start covering him more, watching him, and so on after seeing the talent. But he's somebody. He's probably going to be expensive, but if you can buy him, I would get him. Some people are still going to kind of overlook him a little bit with OBJ there. So yeah.
Yeah. And then I mean, Mark Andrews will be back. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, for him in Baltimore, if you could have any receiver tight end, he's probably the guy I want.
Yeah.
Now, if you're playing in tight end premium, okay, probably still Mark Andrews, but yeah, he's probably the guy I want there. Bateman, wide receiver 3. Unfortunately, after his foot surgery, he looks like he's lost a step to me. Now, he caught all 3 balls thrown to him, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's known for yards after catch, and yeah, he didn't make much of that happen.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens going forward. Does he get faster as the season goes on? But I kind of sold him today in a league. Otherwise, I'm trying to think any other wide receivers, even if they're not rookies. I will say Tampa Bay, obviously watched him against our Vikings. Chris Godwin definitely looked good enough to still be a piece, not
Yeah.
like a top 2 or 3 round guy, but someone
Right.
you can play at flex and be okay.
Yep.
Mike Evans, like a low end flex, as much as I hate to say that because of age and again Baker.
Yep.
Um, Otherwise, I'm trying to think. For the Cowboys receivers, just being up by so much that whole game, obviously they just didn't get the opportunities, the targets, and unfortunately now against the Jets that might happen again.
Yep.
The defense might just take over and offense will just have to chill, not have to do much.
Are you gonna
So
bench the Cowboys defense again this week?
no, no. No, that is a start for everyone watching. Cowboys D against the Jets at home. Oh,
Yeah. Ugh.
and there might be Zach Wilson might have some good weeks, but I don't think next week will be one of them. Monday night, that whole team. I hate to be narrative driven, but like just in the back of the head, the whole team's thinking like, oh, all that work for nothing. We're just
Yeah.
gonna be average now, and yeah, which sucks. Injuries just in general, because obviously it'd be
Right.
more fun to watch the Jets with Rodgers.
Yep. What do
Um,
you think of the narrative? The Jets might have the best defense we've ever seen.
I saw other people talking about that today, and no,
Yep.
like I like that defensive tackle they re-signed, like Sauce, but
Yep.
no, best we've
Right.
ever seen.
Right. If that's even close to true, we're gonna see a completely different kind of Josh Allen. But what we saw was not normal Josh Allen, right? So, uh, yeah, I agree. I don't think it's the best. I think it's a good defense.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be enough for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have way
yeah.
too many weapons. I think they'll probably pick off Dak a couple times, but otherwise,
So yeah,
I don't
I'd
see it.
be okay with someone saying the Jets defense is top 5 in the
Sure.
league right now, but not like top 5 all time. Like they're not
Right.
Legion of Boom. They're not the 2000 Ravens. No, get out of here.
Right.
Don't. Yeah. Anyone trying to say that? Um, Otherwise, I'm just trying to think any other receivers. I'm trying to buy. You're trying to buy dynasty leagues. One rookie that only got one ball thrown at him, Jalen Hyatt with the Giants. That was just a shit game. Like don't hold that against him.
Right. We need
Yeah,
we need to see another game. That is definitely one of those don't overreact buttons.
yeah,
That's, that is the biggest thing that you can't do after week one is just overreact to something. For whatever reason, the big quarterbacks they never have a great game. The first week, it's usually kind of slow. Every now and then, Patrick Mahomes or whatever will have hit their 20, 25 point games, but they're going to
yeah,
start a little slow. They didn't play preseason. Joe Burrow missed all of training camp. This is their first under the lights in 200 days or whatever it is. So,
yeah,
yeah, gotta just chill a little bit.
yeah. Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati all lost. Top
Yeah.
three in the AFC.
So kind
Yeah,
of, speaking of Joe Burrow, now I give him all the leeway in the world, right? He missed basically all of training camp with the hammy, um, and so on. It was his worst game of his career, right? Do you think
yeah.
next week he comes back with a vengeance? Do you think it's going to stick to his shoulder a little bit because it was bad. It was bad. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like if you can get him cheap. Yeah, I'm still buying him in like a
Yeah,
two quarterback league, not a one. Don't worry about him if you only pay with one quarterback.
yeah.
I believe it's Baltimore next week. I
Their
think I know
defense
that
is
because the
only so.
Ravens. Yeah, because the Ravens I believe play them. And yeah, I think one of these weeks they'll figure it out.
Yeah,
And just Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Kansas City might start off slow this year. We'll see.
right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, even Lamar, you could say, started kind of slow, kind of with how he was running, how
Oh
his
yeah.
whole handling
Oh
the
yeah.
ball, stupid things he was doing in
Yeah.
general. So
And I mean,
it
yeah,
happens.
we kind of talked about it a couple nights ago. Playing in the rain sucked. He was in the rain. Eagles. Jalen Hurts was in the rain.
Yep.
Giants. Um, so yeah. Again,
No,
yeah.
definitely.
Don't overreact. Instead, take the opportunity to buy cheap, like the players
Yeah.
we were talking about, Jameer Gibbs, Drake London.
Yep.
Yeah, don't panic sell. You'll make money
Um.
that way.
Right. Somebody who I would actually be definitely selling. I don't think he's hit. I don't actually remember what his injury exactly is. Deontay Johnson, for the Steelers.
Yeah,
I'll get anything you can for him. In general, the Steelers looked awful. Kenny Pickett, just I don't think he has it. End of the day. Um, while Deontay, he's definitely saved me here and there in games and in leagues and stuff like that. With the injury, with how the team looks in general, I would sell him for sure.
yeah.
He didn't look that great
And
as it is.
I believe the injury is a hamstring. So I think it was ruled recently that he is missing at least a few weeks.
Right. So I'd
I
wait
hate, yeah.
2 weeks and then sell
Yeah,
or something like that.
right. Anytime I hear hamstring, I'm out. So right, I'm probably definitely in a redraft league. I'm selling him too, because
Yep.
I need some scoring points,
Yep.
and right, even if he gets back, rookie quarterback, um, and it'll get better. Like San Fran's a good defense.
Yep.
I started him for a reason against the Steelers. um, so yeah, let's yeah, I got that alert too. All right, we got a viewer question. on Discord here from Mario or MX Ario. He's got Harambe for his profile picture. All right. So he's got like a standard redraft league here. I'll read you the players. One quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. His starting running back, CMC and Tony Pollard. Wide receivers, Godwin and Olave. Tight end, Dallas Goedert. Flex, Jalen Waddle. Kicker, Tyler Bass, but who cares? Kicker. Defense, Eagles defense. Backup quarterback, Daniel Jones. Backup running back, Jerick McKinnon. Then he's also got George Pickens at receiver. Jake Ferguson at tight end. Greg Zorloin and Jets defense. And he asks, who should I trade? Or it was something like that. His first question. And again, this is a 10-team league. We're just going to assume regular PPR. Running back, you got two great starters. You're solid there. Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, solid. And then, yeah, it's a really good team to me, honestly. Jalen Waddle at flex,
right.
Doesn't get any better.
Right. Honestly, the only place he's really hurting is the bench is awful. It's atrocious. So honestly, I would just be scoping out the waiver wire and picking up some of the sneaky picks.
Yeah.
Pickups and stuff like that to kind of just bolster that waiver, but otherwise.
Yeah. Waiver wire wise, first things that come to mind is the Rams receivers, because it feels like no one has them outside of Cooper Kupp. But are you really playing receiver? And then his next question is, he says he's a running back at flex. So here's the deal: you got two really good running backs, and in this kind of league, I'm not trading for a third. I'm not trading a receiver for a third. It's a long season. As time goes on, some running backs are going to get hurt. You're going to be able to pick up the backup, and he'll score 80%, if not more, just as many points. We played in a lot of these leagues, so I'm not rushing. Bye weeks don't start for a while. That would be my strategy.
Right. J.K. Dobbins just went down, so you can pick up Gus Edwards or whatever. The sneaky pick that I had this week, even though everybody's going to fight for him off a waiver, I think he's only in 25% rostered, was the Kyron Williams. He was a really sneaky pick because Cam Akers isn't going to do anything again this year. Everybody's going to be fighting over him, so that'll be a hard pickup. But, if you can get him, get him. Those are the two that I can think of off the top of my head. But, just keep an eye on the injury reports, honestly.
Yeah. We kind of agree. We're streaming running back for when it comes down to getting a third, and I think Kyron Williams could be a guy in the short term here. And again, just keeping an eye on the injury report. If Austin Eckler misses multiple games because of his ankle or whatever injury, then Joshua Kelly instantly becomes a guy. It's a lot better
Eckler's out 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have more wide receivers in your format than running backs. And we know, because again, would you rather start Cooper Kupp's backup or Cam Akers, backup? Well, we were just talking about Kyron Williams, but I don't know. I'm saying that because the Rams receivers are there, but to me, you're kind of taking a shot in the dark. Van Jefferson, we know. Puka Akua, who knows? Tutu Otwell had a good week one, but what if someone else gets more balls next week? We just don't have enough data there.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, you gotta keep your receivers, and if running back gets hurt, pick up the backup.
Right.
So
Speaking of which, you didn't accept my trade request for Tutu. So hand him over. We can call it a deal. 2026 second round.
dude, I did take it. Check.
Oh, did you take it? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't get the notification for it.
So yeah, and then this is what we'll end like our week 2 video on. I did a trade.
Yeah.
And again, for anyone watching, any other kind of questions, you guys want to review trades, waivers, or just about a certain player, what we think, ask it on
Yeah.
Discord. I'll probably be asking again on just every Tuesday, and then we'll film this and talk. Eventually, I want this to just be where we just answer questions, because then it's like, we're talking about things they want to hear,
Yep.
and care about. But so 10 team Superflex, start 9. I traded Tua and Rashad Bateman in a 2026 second round pick for Drake London and Cam Akers. You're shaking your head. I'm buying low.
You buy. You're buying about as low as possible. Feel, I feel like you gave up the farm.
Well,
for
Rashad Bateman, I don't know, he's just a guy. 2020 second round pick, just like the Tutu trade.
yeah,
That's 3 years away. Who knows where?
right.
Yeah,
The thing that the one that hurts, and I get why you did it, right? Because you have an influx of quarterbacks, but you
yeah.
traded away Tua, who had almost 500 yards. Crazy game. He looks great.
I'm selling high. Yeah.
But for Cam Akers,
Well, really, Drake London. Cam
but
Akers is like the side piece.
uh, do you really believe in Desmond Ritter that much? That you think that he's gonna get his shit together? Drake London is good enough to make Desmond Ritter a good quarterback,
Yes.
if not borderline great.
Yes, I mean he had like double digit scores last 4 games of last season when Ritter started. Um, I think he's only going to get better, or if he doesn't figure it out, they're bringing in someone else, some other veteran in the off season. Again, this is a dynasty league, so
Yeah,
yeah. Now I got 2 young receivers. I'm really excited about 2 big guys: Quinn Johnson, Drake London.
yeah. Oh,
Once they break out, it's over.
yeah.
Multiple Super Bowls.
I feel like you probably could have traded like Russ or Dak. You could have kept
Yeah,
two. Uh,
yeah,
well,
I had been offered some first round picks, but I don't know. I don't, because it's gonna go to like Eric, and then he's gonna. I don't need a late first. Just give me,
yeah,
and I'm just gonna take a wide receiver I like Drake London, anyways, young, big. So I don't know. That's why
yeah,
it just couldn't get me to do it.
right.
Trading first.
Um, as far as the Tutu Atwell for the 2026 second rounder, me, the way I was looking at it was like, 2026 is just so far away.
Yeah,
It is what it is. I didn't want to get rid of the 25, just, even though it's still 2 years, but I could use that for other trade fodder in the future. I'm not too high on the second or third round picks, as you know. Those are kind of whatever. I kind of just want to stay in that first round. Otherwise, who cares?
yeah,
I hit the territory. So, you know, with Cooper Cup, who knows how long he's going to be gone. I think he had a decent game. He was decent enough to have the flyer on him. And it's kind of, we'll see and whatnot. It's kind of like, I don't want to give away too much, but I'll take a flyer for sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Can't believe you
And
traded
then,
for Cam Akers after your last year. Oh,
dude, look at the end of last year. I mean, you probably weren't paying attention because you were out of playoff contention in that league, but no, he
yeah.
ended well, and
Hassan dropped him.
you know,
Oh,
that was something too in that 10-man league. You know, I'm kind of thin at running back. I guess Rashad Penny isn't playing this year. Healthy scratch. He's someone too.
right.
Sell Penny. You know, they
Yep.
obviously don't believe in him.
Yeah.
Pretty close to getting cut. But otherwise, yeah, that's our week one video. Week two, don't overreact.
Yep.
I'm sure this is honestly one of the crazier week ones that I can
Yeah.
remember from start to finish. I'm sure week two will be pretty crazy too. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, I guess we'll go from there.
Absolutely.